Hi guys, so this is Mr. Ben. This week there won't be a drop-in lesson because I'm helping the school with map testing for the grades 1 to 5. However, this video should serve as a guide for you in how to get started with what we're going to be doing this week, which is Google SketchUp. Alright, so the download files for Google SketchUp, I want you to use an older version because it's free, are on your page, so 8G, 8B, 9B, 9G, so they're on the classroom. So all you need to do is click on download files and you'll see there are two versions, one for Mac and one for Windows. So hopefully you guys at home, you have a Windows laptop or a MacBook, and the installation file is there for each one. Okay, it won't work on a phone or a tablet, it has to be a laptop, Windows or Apple. Alright, so once you've downloaded this and you've installed it, and I'll leave that to you, once you've done that, you should have the application ready to go. So I've just done what you're about to do, and I've installed this file now. So I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to find it. There it is, SketchUp. So now it's going to load. So as it's the first time that we're loading SketchUp, it can take some time. Okay, you're going to see this screen. Don't click on any of these two things here. This is trying to get you to get the Pro version. We're quite okay with SketchUp Make Standard. So we're going to click on Start using SketchUp. Okay, here we are. So let me just get this the right size for you. Okay, there we go. So here we have a little man here, and this man really, the reason why he's there is just to give you a sense of scale, so you know how big things are in contrast to an average sized man. So if you was to show, oh look, I've just found this huge spider, but you wouldn't know how big the spider is on a plain background, but if you put that spider next to a can of Coke, then you'd have an idea, because we all know how big a can of Coke is. And that's why this man is here, is to give us a sense of scale, and what the word scale means is so that we know how big or small something is, comparable to something that we know what that size is, okay? So at the top here we have our toolbar, and the toolbar here, they all do different things. Okay, so let's click on this one here. It's called the Orbit tool, and we drag and hold the mouse, which allows us to move around. It's kind of cool. Yeah. And with our mouse, with the magnifying tool, we can zoom in and out like this. And if you have a mouse, and I would highly recommend that this piece of software, it works much better with a mouse than it does with a trackpad, okay? Now, I actually don't have the mouse right now, wish I did, but if I had a mouse, it'd be much easier to kind of zoom in and out, okay? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use my magnifying tool. I'm going to orbit around, and I'm going to get the angle just right, and I want to build kind of like a block. And with that block, we can chisel the block into something that looks nice, okay? So let's go back to our toolbar here. Eraser tool, pencil tool, shape tool, push-pull tool is the one here. So let's go to shape tool, and let's select rectangle. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to draw a rectangle next to the man. So we want it to be, let's say, about the size of our school. Let's say maybe that's probably about the size of our school, perhaps. Okay, so let's go back to the Orbit tool. We can see it's flat on the ground now. So here, if we go to the push-pull tool, we select this. We can now click and hold, and we can push it up. Alright, so now we have a building, okay? It's not a very nice building, it's pretty boring, but it's a building nonetheless. Okay, so now we can start to do things with this building and make it look interesting. So the first thing I want us to do is to make the building hollow. Okay, so how we do that, we go to the selector tool here, we select the roof, and then we press delete, or on a MacBook, backspace. Now watch what happens when I press delete. Now the building is hollow. So now if I wanted to put objects inside the building, or make walls, partitions, staircases, things like that, I can do that. And whenever you go into a mall or you go into a showroom, you will notice that in these buildings, often the roof is missing because it allows the person to see what the building would look like in the middle. That's quite normal for that to happen actually. Now I actually want to get rid of the front of the building as well, so let's follow the same process. Let's use the selector tool, select the front and hit delete. And you see how we have this hanging line here? Let's get rid of that as well. So we can do that with the eraser tool. And we can just simply click the line. So look, here we have now a nice hollow building. What can we do now? Let's put a nice window on the side. So let's use our orbit tool and scan around. And now we're going to draw a big, huge window right across the face of the side of the wall. So we've drawn a square now, and inside that square we can use a paint bucket tool. So let's click on the paint bucket tool, and you can see here we have all different effects. We can have just a solid color. We can choose what kind of color we want there. We can choose from here. Or the more interesting one, the brick, is textures and patterns. So we've got glass and mirrors, vegetation, roofing, tiles. So I'm going to do a glass and mirrors, and I'm going to select this one here, and I'm going to click. So look now it's a window effect, and I can see into the building. It's quite nice, yeah? Right then, I don't like this grey, boring kind of wall, so let's make this interesting. Let's go to brick. Alright, I kind of like that brick colour there, so I'm going to make this a nice brick. Alright, now let's go and choose a nice flooring now. What do we have? Stone. Let's have a nice stone flooring. That's quite nice, this one here. Alright, so now we have a nice, lovely building. It's kind of cool, yeah? So I just want you to make a building like this. Alright, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to if you just follow my instructions. Alright, that's great. Thank you very much.